All right, thank you for pressing play on this video. I wanted to pull back the curtain on my best-selling book just to give you an idea of what's possible for you. When I got started in January of 2022, I was on YouTube and I was watching other YouTube creators talk about KDP, and that was the seed that I needed for my belief. So, are these results normal? I don't think so. Are these results difficult? They do require work. Are these results worth it? Absolutely. Do you have the power to do this? Yes, if you have the right belief. So I want to break this down in this video so you have a very clear idea of how one journal has brought in $39,000 of royalties. Now, this is from one pen name and one book. And once I saw this success snowballing, I leaned into this niche. This book was published 1 year after I started publishing. Okay. And so we're going to actually dive into the details of this so you understand what's possible for you. My name is Jenny Hansen-Lane, and I've crossed 6 figures with book sales in 3 years, and I'll show you that KDP report. Okay. So let's focus on this $39,000 journal so you have a clear idea of what is possible. Now, just like anything, we have to have the belief that it can work for us. And so this started when I was on YouTube and somebody showed a video of a particular journal that made a certain amount of money. And when I saw this book, the first thought that I had was, I could do that. Now, here's a couple reasons that I knew I could do it. Number one, I had an interest in this journal niche. 2, I was the customer for this journal niche. I knew what the customer wanted. If you know what the customer wants, you can have unlimited resources in life. And I want you to know that there is more money in the world today than there's ever been in the history of the world. There's more types of currency. We have Bitcoin, crypto. There's so many different ways to make money, especially with artificial intelligence. It's collapse time. So we are in the wild, wild west of this, and it's a beautiful place to be. Okay. So you may also see YouTube videos that you think, well, I could do that. That's essentially what I thought. And so I started doing that. Okay. I started testing, and I want to show you what it looks like when I started testing, because it is the difference between making a couple dollars, making $100, and then having a book that makes you $1,000 a month. Okay. And that's life-changing money. This has been life-changing money to me. My background is in marketing, but I had never really found something this consistent with this amount of work. And I actually want to show you that. Okay. So in testing, I'm going to show you less competitive keywords. And I actually want to show you something funny because my YouTube channel, like, I love producing content, but like, I've only made $678 since this year started. Okay. And you might be thinking, that is life-changing. Yeah, there's a lot more that goes into it, right? And let's just look at it for April so far. Like, projected $96, right? I can make that on Amazon in 1 day. Okay. And let's actually go to the dashboard and look at it. Okay. So there's a couple things that have happened to me in my journey of 3 years. I've had my account suspended 3 times. One time was Amazon's accident, which is like, blows my mind. So at the time of this video, we've crossed 117K, and I've published 586 books. Now, in a previous video, I broke down all the royalties because I was able to go faster because of ad spend. And one of the success pieces of that $39,000 royalty was being able to use ads. Okay. And so this is, you can see that this is what I'm bringing in each month. After the 8th month, I hit $5,000 months. or sorry, $5,000, then $4,000, then $5,600, then $5,600. So there was a couple that were repeated, but then my first full year on Amazon, I was able to cross $11,000, and it was this book. It was this journal that went viral, okay? And then just 8 months after that, let me scroll down because this gets a little cuckoo. This is where Amazon accidentally turned off my account. They accidentally suspended my account. And so I had to start over with my royalties, my ad spend. You can see it took a little while to get back up to it. It has been up and down for all of 2024. It's been a little bit stressful because we bought a rental property and I was cash flowing the property. We did get it rented out. I thank Heavenly Father every single day for that. But there was a little bit of stress that I wouldn't really want other people to experience. But now that I've been through it, I feel like, I don't know, 𝐿 says, it's like eating glass, like new levels, new devils. So now that I've been through that, I feel like I'm trying to reach new heights. This isn't my only income stream, so that is a blessing that I have multiple income streams. But having one book that can bring in that type of revenue each month is a huge blessing. So you can see here, I had to build it back up, right? $400, $800. That does not cover my business expenses. I pay for email. I pay for landing page services. I have a tax consulting. He called my chief wealth officer. And then we have some living expenses that I help supplement because we're trying to buy 20 rental properties in the next 10 years. Right now we are at 2.5. We have a house that has a mother-in-law apartment, and we will probably sell the house that we're in, we think, to try to get another rental property. We're not quite sure yet. We might turn this one into a rental property. Okay, so this income has always been really important to me. I don't really like to mess around with it, but if you've seen in previous videos, I've done silly stuff where I stop focusing on it, and it does affect the bottom line. Okay, so this $39,000 book has been a game changer, and the majority of these sales have come from one book. So you've seen that I have grossed, I've sold 6 figures, but many of them come from this one particular niche. And so I want to show you, when we talk about testing, what I'm talking about for actually BookBeam. BookBeam really helped me skyrocket the sales to $39,000. Okay. And so when we're on BookBeam, I'm going to show you a niche. What I'm looking for is, I'm not paying attention to the search volume. I'm looking for relevancy for low competition. Okay. So I like to test out different areas for low content books and medium content books. And so I like to pick things that are very low competition and test them out. And here's why. Let's say coloring books for toddlers, there's 78 people searching. Those are real people. When I turn on ads, they're going to go find those exact 78 people who type that in. So I actually love that. Let me show you what I've been doing most recently, in addition to this $39K that's been bringing in small royalties, by focusing on BookBeam for these lower competition keywords. Okay, so when I talk about this book that's made 39 grand, here's what I'm really focusing on. And this is this month's royalties so far. I've been picking these lower competition keywords as testing, and they're bringing in all these organic sales. And so only the top 3 books that I have I'm using for ads. The rest is all organic. So $14, $13, $12, $9, $6, $5, $5.10. What I'm focused on, because when I got this book to 39,000, I started looking at what else could I do to make a book like this, and I started to come into BookBeam, and I got really similar keywords, and I made more books. Okay, and so that's what you want to focus on, is being able to find customers that are really underserved. This is another great one right here, Summer Beach coloring book. Okay, and so if you focus on low competition over here, this competition score where the green's very high, this means that you don't have to spend as much in ad spend, and it's a great way to get started. Now, this book that has brought in a large amount of royalties for me, I am scaling with book ads. My background, I know a little bit about Facebook ads, but I wanted to show this to you because my success for these royalties here was really changed for me when I started seeing that my book was ranking for low competition keywords. Okay. And so those are what I turned ads on for. I didn't go to Fiverr and hire someone for, keyword research that I didn't know anything about. I'm getting the data from Amazon ads, and I'm getting the data from BookBeam to find more low competition. So if I was going to build out a summer beach coloring book brand, I would use this keyword, and I would also use keywords of the competition. Holiday, that's, in the UK, they call their vacations holiday. So that would be a good one for the UK. And then I would check out the summer collection coloring book. That might be trademarked, but there might be a collection of books that I can put together to be able to drive traffic to, okay? So as you see things that are in demand, I always come into BookBeam and I look at the competition, because I know that if I want to get some organic sales or build a brand around it, it's going to be more affordable than actually, competing. When I first started out, what I would always do, what I thought I should do, is find things that had the highest search volume. But what I learned is that search volume sometimes was more broad and it required more ad spend. And so if you're just getting started and you want to have that one book that takes off, it's also going to be important for you to focus on less competition, because then you're able to, if you turn on ad spend, it's not as expensive to actually compete and you can actually see some results. Okay. So I will do additional research in this niche just to see what's going on. Let's go to Summer Beach Coloring Book and give it a deeper dive. And you can see that the results are 7,000 results. And so that's a great place to start. The less that you can do with that competition, the better. But we can even see there's some in here that are ranking with ads, but it's letting us know that as summer comes around, these books will probably take up a couple sells on their way. I mean, this one is getting really close to starting to sell. So these are things that I like to do with BookBeam, is look for low competition, and it makes it really, really fun. So let me know what questions you have about this process. Let me go back to the 3 steps, because if we keep it really simple, we're able to see some progress a little bit faster than if we don't take action at all. Okay, so don't be afraid to actually try out some niches with the YouTube videos that you see here online. I've shared some niche profitable niches, and there's other people that have had to. That's how I found my $39,000 book. So if you watch a video and you think, oh, it's saturated, this book's saturated, you're right. If you have the belief that it's saturated, then it is saturated. But I don't like to have that mindset, you guys. I'm going to buy, I should say it in past tense, I'm going to buy 17 more rental properties in 10 years. Like, I'm going to explode my income, and I'm going to do it by having the proper mindset that there has never been more money in the entire world than there is right now, and abundance is your birthright, and you deserve good things. If you're willing to impact other people, I was actually talking to my husband about this, about paying tithing. Tithing is what we pay to our church, and tithe is in the scriptures. It's in the Old Testament by the prophet Malachi, and he says a tithe is 10%. So 10% of your profits I pay to my church. And this year for 2025, I want to try to double that number. And you might be thinking, like, that's not a tithe anymore, Jenny, that's 20%. No, I want to double the income that I make in 2025 from what I made in 2024. And I want to do it with God. And I know that there's never been a greater time to have abundance, because there's never been more currency in the entire world, and we have to be delusional. We have to think that for it to come to pass. And I've been on this journey of passive income since I found Amazon KDP. Before this, I was still a wedding photographer. I was away from my kids on weekends, and I was still making pretty fun money, but it was not the lifestyle that I wanted. Okay, so if you see a YouTube video that is on a book that you're like, I could do that, that is your permission to test it out. The second part is that you do want to put more than one book underneath that pen name. So if a customer buys it, they come back for more. Because when you know what the customer wants, you can create books over and over again, okay? Now, don't forget the less competitive keywords. This is such an important part, because if we go after just the highly searched keywords, there's other people that are doing that too. But like, everybody wants to get rich overnight. No one focuses on low competition. Below competition is really like riches in the niches. It's where you can find these different things that go on. Okay, so that's an important aspect. Drop any questions that you have below about having one book take off. I'm completely satisfied that, you know, out of my royalties, that like I've had books take off. I don't need all 586. I'm learning. And a lot of times 80% of your income comes from 20% of your sales. But once you start building out book brands, you can bring that percent up higher. Okay. So keep that in mind as you are going in your journey. And if it would help you to have more mindset videos like this is more strategy and mindset, but I just want you to repeat after me. I have always had enough. I have enough. And I will always have enough. If you're watching this video on a mobile device or any way that the electricity is coming through to your home, you have enough. Okay? When we can actually let go of that and realize we have enough, then more can enter our life and we can impact other people. Okay. So if you'd like more mindset, this truly has helped me to be consistent and resilient and to climb the next mountain, right? Like it's not going to get easier, but I'm going to get stronger, and that's going to allow me to hike better. And it's the same with Amazon KDP, that the competition will rise, but there has never been more currency in the world than there is right now. Love you guys. See you in the next video. Oh, and quick reminder, we've got like 3 live spots left for our training this week. We will have a replay, and we try to do these every quarter. So we hope you can join us. We're going to be talking about how I sold over 200K with book ads and the 3 things that you need to remember when you start publishing. So I'll drop the link below. I'd love to have you. Grab the freebies. See you soon.